Good morning on this Wednesday hump day. This is Emerge Light, T-Posh here, coming to you this morning. So I am having a wonderful time with my weekly plan this week. As I posted before, I did my T-Talk video on Saturday, just giving you 4 tips on how to obtain a simple life balance. And I also post my plan and what I would be following this week, and you know, quite a few of you have seen it and saw it, and I hope you are exploring it for yourself. So yesterday was no meat day. I did great. I did not consume any wheat in my body whatsoever, and I feel really good this morning. I feel so good this morning that when I went into meditation this morning, something so heavy was laid upon my heart to make sure that I do this video before I started my day today. So I haven't even left my home to, you know, drive to work. And something told me just stop right now and make sure you do that video before you leave out for the day. So here's the video. This video is about excuses. My spirit was so heavy on me this morning because I am a prime person that have always made excuses for my health, for my behavior, for me not being able to do the things that my heart is laid on me to do, the spirit has led me to do, and I just, you know, refuse to make it happen. I refuse to, you know, take time to really research for myself and do what it is that the spirit has led me to do. So, and even me doing this video before I leave to go to work this morning is a prime example of how things are changing in my mindset, the way that I flow, the way that I think, and just the way that I'm reforming my own life balance. So let me just talk to you a little bit about excuses. It's a lot of you that may be watching this video, or you may even know someone that you're trying to share some news with and say, hey, we need to start eating better, we need to do this and we need to do that. And these people or yourself is telling yourself some excuses. So let's talk about a few of those excuses. One of the main excuses, which is so famous, that little famous word to say, anybody got time for that? Yeah, that excuse right there. Why is everybody posting this about eating this and don't eat that? What the hell we supposed to eat? I am so sick of this. And they just all on the video and they just coming with all this, eat this and eat healthy and eat this food and don't eat this food. And you know, I don't have time for that. That's one of the primary excuses of people, you know, telling yourself you don't have time for that. Well, let me ask you a few questions that you can think about. Do you have time to be in the hospital, maybe even on intensive care, maybe a few years, 2 years, 5 years down the line? Do you have time for that? Do you have time to keep going into the prescription drug stores or even ordering prescription drugs online? Do you have time to make sure you pick up your prescription drugs? And do you have time to take those prescription drugs and then you find out later on that something else has caused, is being affected in your body from the prescription drugs that you're taking? Do you have time for that? Do you have time to be just simply driving, going to an event or going to work every day and, you know, just doing your normal driving tasks, and then you just pass out behind the wheel because you caught a seizure, or you just passed out because you had, you know, some type of, you know, effect to an illness in your body? Do you have time to experience that? Furthermore, do you have time to pick up the phone and tell all your family and friends that you can't make it to the wedding, or you can't make it to the birthday party, or you can't make it to a really exciting event because you don't feel well, or because you're having a headache, or because, you know, you gained so much weight you're embarrassed to go and show, you know, somebody all the weight that you gained? Do you have time for that? So listen, that very moment, that very statement that you have conditioned in your mindset to always be the first to say, I don't have time for that, is that very moment and that very statement that will default you in your life with a whole lot of things that you want to do. Listen, you are here for a purpose. There's something that you are so passionate about that the world needs. And even if it's not for you, it's for our future. If you have children around you, they'll be here much longer than you are. Have you even noticed that the lifespan of people, period, has shortened drastically? How is it that you can read the Bible, or way back and way before Christ's days, people lived to be 100, 200 years old? But now, right now, Have you realized that people are dying at 20, 30, 40, 50 years old? Don't get it twisted. There are some 50 years old that look real good and look better than a whole lot better than some 20, 30-year-olds. But are you really paying attention to the lifespan of people? Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, there's awakening going on. There's a shift in the atmosphere, and you are being called to be a part of it. You can choose. Yes, it's your choice to be a part of it or not. And if you continue to make such excuses for yourself, then okay, basically you choose to not be a part of it. Now, what the Spirit has always told me, this is not for everybody. Everything is not for everybody, because somebody has to be the example. Someone has to suffer the consequence, so that way the people that have their light on, that is, you know, seeing things through the eyes of God, can see clearly an example outside of themselves of what not to do in your life. Why do you have to be a part of that? Another excuse is, oh my God, I cannot afford that. I am on a budget. I can't afford to be spending all this money on this organic food, and organic food that's probably not even organic, and I just can't afford it. I'm gonna have to go to, you know, to the Save-A-Lot, and I'm gonna have to just go here and just buy what I can afford. Now, that could be true for some people, okay, that really can't afford it and have to, you know, budget and eat things, you know, that are less in cost. But let me also ask you about that, okay? Can you afford to pay for the doctor bill that's going to come later on? Because you don't want to just realign your budget and readjust some things in your life so you can live a healthier lifestyle? Can you afford to, I mean, if you can't afford to buy and to put healthy foods and option in your body so you can live your best life and you can balance yourself and live a very fully life balance, then that means, can you afford to always have to pay a copay every time you go to the doctor? Can you afford to have to purchase prescription drugs? Don't you see the stories? We have some of our elderlies out here that's retired, can't work anymore, and can't even afford their medication. Can't even afford the expensive medication to be able to put into their body. Can you afford that? I mean, can you afford to, you know, not even if you can afford. Let's just think about it graciously like this. Okay, you're having a busy day and you got to go to work and you got to take care of the kids and you got to do this. So you stop at McDonald's this day. You stop at Wendy's the next day. You stop at this store the next day. Have you ever really just sat down and added up all that money that you're spending, the cheap money, the low cost money, and put it all together and compared it to you just taking all that money one time to go to a healthy grocery store and buy items that are healthy for you? Believe it or not, the fruits and vegetables that are in the fresh market aisle, that's in the fresh aisle, the real fruit and vegetables, it doesn't have to be expensive. It's the very conditioning of our mindset that tells us these things are more expensive. Why? Because it is unconsciously designed to keep the people in poverty, to keep the people unaware, and to keep you stripped from the light. One of the most famous and one of the most let me see the word, I can't even think of it. One of the most famous and most successful psychological method is to strip people away from the light as much as possible, so that way you can control them for the benefit of the self alone. And this is what people that, you know, that are feeding these foods, that are stocking these foods, that are contaminating these foods. I mean, you see it. This is nothing that I'm just coming up with. You know, you see it. You see the articles. I posted an article yesterday with frozen foods. You have to be aware. A recall on frozen foods, a recall on that, recall on that. And these are things that we are consuming. So listen, stop making the excuses. At least try. Here at Emerge Light, I'm just giving you an avenue, a way, inspiring you and motivating you to try. Introduce new things into your life. Write down what it is that you're spending at these cheap stores, okay, that you're putting these cheap things in your body. It's cheap for a reason. I went into my local meat market the other day to get some leg quarters, okay? Leg quarters, yes. And I'm going to eventually get off of this meat too, but I'm working on it and I'm transitioning. I'm so thankful that you're transitioning with me. But I went into the meat store to get some leg quarters, and the damn leg quarter was the size of a turkey turkey. No lie. Let me see. It was at least this long. Spread it all the way out, the thigh and the leg. The skin was hanging off. The skin was brown. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. That very moment I seen that leg quarter, I immediately thought about all the antibiotics and the things that they're doing with these chickens and these farming agencies that is approved by the FDA. So listen, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to protect you. So you have all these healers out here, okay, and all these people that are posting these such videos just to try to inspire you, just to try to let you know how powerful you are. It's time for you to develop your power. It's time for you to focus on your purpose. It's time for you to be the best person that you are. So that's why we're coming to you with these videos. So let's stop making the excuses. Even for myself, okay, I can't afford it. I don't have time for this. Well, I've been living this long and we all gonna die. Yes, that's true. We all are gonna die. But you know what's gonna happen with that type of mindset? We all gonna die. So I just want to live and I want to be happy. Yes, you can live and you can be happy now for a moment, but time you are admitted into the hospital intensive care, or time the doctor tell you that you can't walk anymore, or time that you just put some weight on your knee and your knee feel like it's just gonna fall apart and you don't know where that pain come from, time those things happen, time your blood sugar just spike up and you just want to, you know, do something and you can't do it because you're secluded with your health, time that happens, then you will not have that statement to say, oh, well, I just want to be happy and I just want to, you know, and I want to live my life and I'm not with all that and I've been doing this long and ain't nothing happened yet. But when you have that moment is when you start waking up to yourself. Why wait for the moment? That's just like you telling the police officer you call the police because something is happening or you're in an abusive relationship, you know, and you subconsciously can't get out of it. You say, oh, well, he hasn't, and the police tell you, well, we can't really press charges. There's nothing we can do because nothing has happened yet. So you mean to tell me we got to wait till something happen for you to take action? No, it's a psychological mindset that we all are a victim of. So listen, these people are waking up. There are light workers out here. There are healers out here. And these are people that grew up right next to you. These are not people that have certifications, what the system or what the culture tells you that you have to have. You have to have a piece of paper to do this. These are people that are connected with God and they are doing God's work. And they are coming up and they are just being obedient with themselves to give a message to you to make sure that you can live your best life. So listen, before you make another excuse, sit with yourself. Sit with God. Remember, life balance, rest, even if you're not sleepy. Just sit with you and God all by yourself and just let God speak to you. Let God correct your mindset. Your mindset is the primary thing that helps you in everything that you do in your life. Whatever it is that you think about the most is what you're bringing forth in your existence. So on this Wednesday morning, come up with your own plan. If you don't like mine, and if you don't like some of the other plans that people coming up with, natural, alkaline, stick with natural fruits and diets, fruits and vegetables, natural, fasting, prayer. God is calling upon you. It is time for you to live your best life. It is time for you to live your purpose. So keep it clean, keep it real. Shalom. I'm going to go ahead and flow on to this daytime job. I love you, and just let's do away with the excuses. It's time out for that. Now we do not have time for the excuses. And that's the main thing I want to say. So shalom. Have a good day.